they run in increasingly democratization. For example, a B company is a boss-elect company. The people appoint someone who is to be boss, and he does everything. He does everything, but he can still be replaced any moment. Then you have a C company, where the employees create a management, elect a management, hire a management, and they have regular meetings with it. But otherwise the management will run the company. For what profit? For a profit that that system agrees. It could be wages, it could be share of profits, that's up to them. Then we have a D1 company, which is where the whole people who work in the company will have regular mass meetings, and they will decide one vote for every person. Then we have a D2 company, where it is depending on how much you've worked, how much voting rights you have. Then we have an E company, where the people who at that moment are there in the company will decide things right there by majority vote. And we have an O company, which is an open-ended possibility, which you can then fill in with a charter of your own design. There is also a law that prevents the owner from destructive company policies from the moment the company has 7 or more employees. That is to protect against the danger that the owner would at the last possible moment suck out everything, sell it, and then leave the empty shell to the employees. And that's the basic system for democratization. Now back to the financial system. Another detail about it is that there is not to be a trade in loans. So if someone makes a loan with someone else, then this loan agreement is only between these two persons. This document cannot be sold to a third party. The duty to pay back the loan is always to the same person, or the same institution, company. It is of course true that this person can engage in a new loan with another person claiming they have an income from this person, but there is no possible claim between these two persons. This way you always know where your loan is, where your obligation is. So for example, if you have a loan with a shop to put the costs on a debt to be paid later, then the shop has the agreement with you. He cannot sell the debt to the mafia or organized crime, who will then do whatever they do, while he is reimbursed by the mobsters. There's all manner of detail to these issues. Then the border tariffs. If this were a nation then if another nation were to engage in slavery, they could make products of extremely low prices yet good quality. And if they then dump these in this market, then, for example, they make wooden shoes. Not a very good drawing of it. Then the price for a wooden shoe would perhaps normally be 30, and they can make it for 5. Those that don't work get executed. Those that show up late get a reduction in the evening meal, which is, for example, their only wage. But they can dump it here for 15, and the profits of 10 go to the top, who use the money to control the slaves. While our industry for wooden shoes what would happen with it? Most likely it would be destroyed. You could say, well, it is a responsibility of the customers to make sure they don't buy these shoes, but in actual real life it is quite hard to know where certain shoes come from. And we could just as well say it is a duty of our nation to slap a border tariff on these shoes for the value of not very good at math, am I? 15, and therefore these wooden shoes would not be overly competitive in the market. This would protect our industry, would go on. We would not support this abusive system. We would not betray these slaves by supporting that abusive system. And once all this crashes, because that's often what happens, then we don't have to rebuild an entire wooden shoe industry. So all these issues, we protect ourselves from these social abuses, and therefore we have a much more stable economy. It does cost us money, because these slave products are extremely cheap after all. So if we did import this for 15 units, euros, dollars, whatever, francs, marks, then we would be able to have boot shoes and have 15 left to buy baguettes from France, which would of course be great. We would be wealthier if we allowed this. We would also be less stable, less sovereign, more dependent on another nation, and we would assist in tyranny. And there's also another very dangerous effect with supporting this, because these people go unemployed, they don't know what to do anymore. That feeds into the job market, and well, in a o-tavid system that would not even really be a problem, because most businesses would be democratized, but they would be willing to work for less money most likely, because they are in a difficult position Certainly in a capitalist system this would be extremely dangerous, because now you get a reduction in the wages here, and then these people could also be imported. They work also for very little money, and if this was not David's system but a capitalist system, then allowing this too much, sucking in cheap labor, destroying our industries, this could really wreck our whole country, which is of course exactly what they are doing right now, 2010. Thank you. It's not the only nation they try this, perhaps not even the one they do it worst, but it is the games. And the last issue I wanted to address here now is the currency, which is to be spent into circulation by the government. Well, some people have a problem with everything. I'll use this symbol for a minute. National government. The money is spent into circulation, simply minted, rules of the machine, conveyor belt with coins, rolls of the machines, boom, it's money, done. Spending it into circulation for various government projects, bureaucratic wages, all kinds of things. The investment system can be spent into circulation that way. So there is a flow of money into the economy. On the other hand, there is a tax coming out, because you cannot constantly only put money in, then you would have inflation. So the goal of the system is to have a rock solid 0% inflation over centuries. This will be very good for our value in our currency in other nations, because once they start to know, hey, this coin from this nation is worth value without trouble, then we will be able to buy more with it. Then of course the certain capitalist interests say, ooh, our exports, well, we don't care about the exports. We are our own nation, we have our own industry. Export is only a bonus. Nice, very nice. We don't depend on it. Why do the capitalists always want to export, import, all this? Because they want to play the various markets against each other so they can dump it all into the third world. That we become a third world nation. That's the goal. Very low wages, very rich plutocracy. Therefore they destroy the borders, will call in the cheap labor, all kind of games that they play. So that's not to be done in this case. The border tariffs are a tool of the government